Ben, I'm a huge fan of SEO, and so I really was thankful that you were able to come back on and chat with us about search engine optimization today.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
So, in working in the SEO industry, you see SEO techniques that are working for your customers. And I was just wondering if you could share with us three SEO trends to watch out for in 2023.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great question. I think probably the biggest thing that I've seen recently, and uh, I have like three or so that we can talk about, but the first one I want to mention would be FAQ schema. I've seen a big trend with Google with adding this to search results on the search engine result pages, and it's one of those things that um, you know you can always try to tweak your listing, your thing that comes up in Google results, and everything you do kind of makes it stand out a little bit. You can do emoji, you can do, all these different things. But FAQ schema stands out the most. It is these big blocks that show up underneath your listing, or sometimes it could be your questions are showing up in the people also ask section. So these questions, if you use the FAQ schema, it really really stands out. And so I'm seeing that search results are starting to rank higher if they have this FAQ schema. And so I think it's one of those trends that is really important for people to start using on their sites. And with all-in-one SEO, it's really easy to add that now. We have a new schema generator that really lets you kind of take your SEO to the next level. And this is one of those things that we've added in there. So that's kind of the first thing. I think that it's one of those things that you really you got to get on that. And people are always asking questions, and Google knows that's kind of how they search, right? You're searching using a question. So that's kind of the first thing I would say. The next item on my list would probably be something that's kind of a tried and true thing that's been around forever, and that's just internal linking, right? So I would recommend that every page you publish, every post that you want Google to index, you should definitely add internal links to other pages on your site. This is how Google can kind of consume, and not just Google, other search engines as well. They can kind of consume all your content, understand who you are. This helps your EAT score, your authority in the topic that you're trying to cover with your site. And so these are important thing. That's an important area that you can continue to grow. And the more internal links you have, Google can kind of understand like, oh, this person does know what they're talking about. Here's another page that kind of talks about this topic as well. So your listings will start to move up. And then the last item that I would kind of probably touch on is related to e-commerce stores specifically. E-commerce is growing leaps and bounds with the economy where it is. People are starting to create new sites and they have great ideas and everything. And Google recently opened up their merchant center in a way that's going to really change the game here. And that is, before you had to create an account. It was free, but you had to create an account and you had to kind of send in all of your products in a feed, and it's cumbersome and it kind of deterred people. But what they've just done is they've started to consume the JSON schema that SEO plugins output on your site, and they'll take that product schema and they'll take shipping data and they'll take all of the information about your product, and they start to now use this in kind of as a complement to the Google Merchant Center. So you actually don't even have to have a Google Merchant Center anymore account. You can just use the product schema that All-in-One SEO provides for you. So that's we are so excited about this. We are completely compatible with that. We just kind of launched an update that has that, and this is really going to change the game for e-commerce sites.
And just for
So
those who are doing like e-commerce, just a follow-up question on that. So the Google Merchant Listing Schema that pulls in from a product that I have on my site, where do people see that? Is it in the search results? Is it in the shopping tab?
absolutely. So it's going to be in the shopping tab. It's going to be on the images search. Like you can search for images, and you'll start to see images with a dollar sign. You'll be like, what is that? You hover over it and it says, this is a product. This is how much it costs. This is where you can buy it. So that's a really cool thing. There's also product carousels that show up in the main Google search results. So it's all of those places that the Merchant Center already outputs the feeds. Now you can do that and be a part of that just by having product schema through All-in-One SEO.
That's going to be huge for like the small e-commerce stores that we, if you don't have time
Absolutely.
for anything, you at least can get that going for you. Very cool.
Absolutely. Yeah. Very excited about these. So just to kind of recap, FAQ schema would definitely recommend that. That's a huge trend that I'm seeing. Tried and true internal linking, which I forgot to mention, but All-in-One SEO has an internal linking tool where we make suggestions for you. So that's definitely something to keep in mind. And then obviously the e-commerce stuff, the Google Merchant Listing schema that we output as well.
So I love those trends that he was telling us about, especially the Google Merchant listing. If I had an e-commerce store, that would be amazing to do. But the one that I know that we are seeing results from right now as well, so I was glad he mentioned it, was the FAQ schema, WP Beginner. We started implementing those on our site diligently. I started putting them on my personal site, and we're seeing really good results from that. So definitely, if you have some time over the weekend, do that as well. Install FAQ schema on some of your pages and see how the rankings change. And then let me know in the comments below, which is the trend you're most excited about seeing. And thanks for listening.